Hello, folks. This is Mikey here, and it's very exciting because I've got a chap called. I'm going to get him to introduce himself because there's no way I can say his second name. So, Philip, is it Philippe or Felipe?
It's Felipe, yes.
It is. Oh, cool.
Yeah,
And what's your
Felipe.
second name?
Behrens.
Behrens. Oh, I can probably handle
Yes.
that, but I won't even try
Yeah,
it
yeah,
again.
it's German, so
Is it? Oh, but your
yep.
first name is definitely not German. So how did you
Yeah,
come
my
by that
first
one?
name is Latin because I'm originally from Brazil. So I have a Latin name, but my great grandfather from my mother's side was German. So
Right, gosh. So you were born in Brazil?
yes, that's right. I was born in Brazil and I've been here in the United States since 2002. So 22 years now.
Oh, okay. So and how old are you, roughly?
I'm going to turn 40 this year.
Oh, you're a
Yeah.
youngster.
I'm a youngster still, yeah.
Yes. So you've been out paddling today. What were you doing?
Yeah, I was just going out for some fun. I woke up early. I got my boat from where I keep my car on the carport. I took it on the dolly to the beach, and then I just went around the area where I live here in Miami called Key Biscayne. It's roughly an 11-mile paddle to go around the little island here.
Oh, okay. And that's on the sea.
Yeah, it's on the half of it is on the sea, and then half of it is on Biscayne Bay, which
Okay, lovely.
that's
And
very
and
yeah.
what's is it warm where you are? I won't go into temperatures because
It's
that's too
it's very
complicated.
warm. I don't even wear a wetsuit to go paddling. I just wear a t-shirt and shorts.
Right. Very, very nice. Uh, so I was
Yeah,
thinking I hadn't
the
been
water
paddling,
is probably
but yeah.
about it's probably about 72, 75 right now. Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
that's Fahrenheit.
I don't
No,
begin to
sorry, that's
understand what you're
Fahrenheit. So
talking
20 to
about
25
there.
Celsius. 20 to
What?
25 Celsius. Yes.
My God. Well, yes, I think it's probably about its lowest right now. I think it's 8 or 9 degrees, and
There in
it
Cornwall.
actually when I was on the northwest of Ireland, they had freak warm temperatures, water temperatures that were like 4 degrees higher than they normally are, but it only got up to about 18. So it's hotter where you are than it ever gets here, ever.
Well, the water here in Florida eventually makes its way up there to Ireland and England and keeps you guys a lot warmer than the
Oh
equivalent
yes, it gives
latitude in
us lots of
Canada.
nasty storms as well.
Yeah, yeah,
So
sends the nasty storms too.
yes. So have you been tracking the weather here?
I have, and it's been quite frightening. I saw that one day there in Land's End, they were having 9-meter waves,
Well, they oh
and
gosh, I didn't notice
yeah,
that. Blooming
it
hell.
was a few weeks back. It was when a storm rolled in, and I saw
Yeah,
on the weather app that I tracked that they had 9-meter waves. 9 meters is pretty
gosh.
big.
Yeah. Well, I think we've had, I don't know, since the autumn, we've had 10 named storms, which is just ridiculous.
Wow.
Because I think last year we went nearly the whole of the winter without having any. So fingers crossed, hopefully it's getting it all over before you turn up.
Before I turn up, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, I have my plane ticket purchased already. I'm gonna fly into Heathrow on, well, I leave from here on March 5th. I get there on March 6th, and then I'm gonna drive over to Angsley to pick up the boat from the
Anglesey, yeah,
Rockpool
hit the boat,
factory.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up to the Rockpool factory, say hi to Mike, and then pick up the Rockpool Terran, drive back, and then I'm going to put in somewhere on the Thames west of London. I saw that there was a few campsites just downstream of Reading, uh,
Reading, yeah.
yeah, Reading, yeah, just on Reading, just downstream. So I'm thinking that's probably where I'm going to put in to start the journey.
Oh, fantastic. Yes, that'll be very jealous of you going down the Thames. It's just extraordinary. It's really, really good fun. Uh, So how much or how long have you been researching your whole trip?
So this trip to go around the UK and Ireland, I've been researching it for about maybe 2 years. I mean, it started just as an idea of something I would like to do. And then after I completed the trip around Vancouver Island, I started thinking more seriously about it, and started first thinking how I would get my kayak to the UK. I have a Rockpool Terran here with me in Florida, but I figured it would probably be easier just to buy one there
Yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
Mike and then sell it at the end of the trip. So assuming that the boat survives the entire trip, there will be
Oh,
a
sure it
Rockpool,
will. As long
a
as it's
Terran
sensible.
18 Premier will enter the market sometime in October,
Right.
assuming that the boat survives. So yeah,
So
I started
so
I started thinking about this trip, and then I started looking around the coastline to see more or less what the lay of the land was, where there were places that I could camp, seeing where there might be places where I could stop by and uh, fuel with get food and all that, and then I started thinking that hey, you know what, maybe this is something doable that I could do for when I turn 40. I'll
right,
take
I see. It's to celebrate
yeah,
the big 40.
celebrate turning 40. Yeah.
So
So
are you getting excited now?
yeah, I know it's getting close now. So less than a month, I'm going to be in the UK. Uh,
And are you
Still
getting
doesn't
nervous? Are you quite
it
relaxed about the whole thing?
it doesn't quite feel real yet. I suppose it'll feel real when I'm actually there. I
Yeah,
started
yeah.
I started packing everything that I'm going to bring with me. So I'm going to check 3 bags plus the paddles. So I'm going to have 4 bags in total to be able to bring everything with me in terms of all of the gear that I'm going to bring.
Right, fantastic. So
Yeah.
have you kind of mentally or otherwise kind of plotted all the crunch points, the bits you think are going to be tricky?
Yes. So what I've done is I use an InReach GPS tracker,
Yeah, yeah.
and it has a built-in map feature that lets you put waypoints to mark, which you can then see them on your phone. So what I've done is I've marked the entire coast of Britain and Ireland every 10 miles with potential places to stop.
Okay, that is very, very
That way,
organized.
yeah,
Yes.
that way I know that at any point I know where the closest put out point is. So I put about 250 markers on the map
Brilliant.
where I can pull out.
And
Uh,
what sort of places are you choosing for your put-ins?
I am looking at beaches, and places that have boat ramps. So I've already marked every time there's a town, I've marked the location of the boat ramp where I can pull out.
Right, right.
Mhm.
Excellent.
So that's the plan.
Yeah, because one of the surprises I found going around Ireland was I was expecting to have to do lots of big beach landings in big surf because it's
Right.
all that exposed coastline. But because it's so indented and because you've got so many islands and because all the local fishermen have contrived to be able to get out in most conditions, I actually found it easier in terms of landings going around Ireland than I did, say, the south and coast of England. Uh,
Mhm.
but that was only because I was avoiding all the ports. I
Right, right.
was wanting to sleep on, you know, away from everybody else. So I guess if it had been rougher, I would have had to head into the harbours and things. And there's plenty of them around generally. So
Yeah, I'm actually hoping that as I go into different towns, hopefully there will be people following me along the way on the journey. So maybe I'll be able to score a bed for the night here and there. I
yes, Yes.
I've gotten one sponsor for the trip. It's the makers of the bilge sponge called Swoosh.
Ah,
If you can see it, these bilge
right.
sponges. What I do is I keep them inside one inside each hatch of the kayak, and that normally soaks up all the water that gets in there while you're paddling.
Oh, that's a
And
good idea. I never
yeah,
really thought of
exactly. Yeah,
that.
you keep one sponge inside each hatch, and usually that mops up most of the water. And
Yeah, good tip. I like that.
and so
Yes.
then what Swoosh did was they sent me 30 sponges, which I'm going to bring with me. I'm putting them inside some compression bags,
Right.
and
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna give them away to people, to other kayakers as I meet along the way.
Well, that sounds like a
So
bargain. You get one
yeah,
of
exactly.
those.
So I'll be like, hey, here you go. You get a sponge, and you get a sponge, and you get a sponge, and then hopefully we'll see. Maybe somebody offers me a bed for the night.
Well,
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons to put out this podcast. Actually, bit of advanced publicity. So, have you managed to talk to any other people who have? Oh, Sean
So
Morley. You managed to talk
yes,
to him?
I did speak with Sean, and I read his blog his blog, his book that he has online about his
Right.
trip around the UK and Ireland. So that he did all of the major inhabited islands in the UK and Ireland, with the exception of the Jersey Islands at the end because he had bad weather. But I don't think I'm going to go as far as he did to some of the very outer Hebrides Islands. But I will try to
Yeah.
hit
They're. Uh-huh.
all of the major island groups. That's going to be my goal. So I will, weather permitting, I'll go to the Orkneys and the Shetlands, and then I was thinking about whether or not I could make it to the Jersey Islands. And my thought is probably earlier in the year is going to be kind of difficult because since I'm going to be starting in March, I'd probably be getting around the south coast of England at the point to be able to cross. I'd probably be there by early April, which might be a little bit too early to do that in the season. So my thought was maybe what I would do is I save that for last, and then when I come around London for the second time, where I'm closing the circle, I can then it'll probably be maybe mid-September by then. I could then just hop across to France, across the
Oh, I
straits,
see. That sounds a lot more
and then just
sensible.
go down the coast of France, and then go to the Jerseys from there, and then hop back to the UK. So I don't have to do the
I
crossing
see.
twice. Yeah, my thought was crossing the channel to the coast of France, paddling down the coast of Normandy, hopping over to the Jersey Islands, because from there, from the coast of France, it's at most about 15 miles. It's not very much. And then I would go to the Jersey Islands, and then I would wait until there's a weather window, and then I would cross back to the UK.
Yeah.
And then I was even thinking that would put me at about early October when I would be getting back to the UK, and I would be pretty close to Cornwall already. And don't you guys have a symposium around the early October?
Uh, Quite possibly. Is this the sea kayaking Cornwall one, or is this?
Yeah, the Sea Kayak in Cornwall symposium. I think it's around early October. So,
Ah.
I had the idea in my head is thinking, hey, maybe I could finish the trip at the symposium.
You can come and stay at my place. You're always welcome.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. So, uh, so what preparations have you got left now?
So in terms of preparations, other than just staying fit, exercising almost every day to make sure that I'm fit to be able to paddle, the only preparations I have are just packing everything into the bags and and pretty much that. I mean, I already have all the equipment with me here in my house. It's just a matter of closing the bags and then being ready to go.
Well,
Yeah,
fantastic. So,
yeah. I actually put on my website the gear list of everything I'm planning to take
I
with
saw
me.
that. That was
Yeah,
very,
so
yeah,
so
very
it's got
good.
most of the things in there. And yeah, and I already have everything. So yeah, there isn't that much left to prepare. Well, there is one thing. I'm sending out lots of emails to potential sponsors to see if there's any companies that might be interested in sponsoring me. So I got Swoosh there. They said that
Right,
they'll
right.
sponsor me with 30 sponges. And then I also got another company that I know it from my work as an engineer. They make safety goggles. So
Okay.
there are these goggles with side protections because I usually I work at a wastewater treatment plant, so you got to have eye protection so nothing flies into your eyes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I also use these to go kayaking on my trips. I use them pretty much every day. Every picture
Okay. Yeah,
of
yeah.
myself on my trips, I'm using these goggles because I use prescription goggles. And so I wrote to them and said, "Hey, I take lots of pictures with your equipment, with your goggles. How about you guys sponsor me with a pair of goggles?" And they agreed to it. So they're going to send me a pair of transition lenses that are, the type that when it's cloudy, it's transparent.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
it's
yeah.
sunny,
I've only
it's
just
sunny.
got some myself, and
Right.
I love them
Mhm.
actually.
Right. And the thing that they gave me is they made me a special coupon for me to post on my Facebook posts, which gives people 20% off when they order one of these.
Ah,
So
okay.
I'll put those on the daily posts to let people know that if they're following my post, they can get uh 20% off on these goggles. And these are very good. I roll my kayak with these, and these don't come off my head, so they're very good. I like
So
these. Mhm.
the reason I'm laughing, I managed to lose 4 pairs of glasses my first year here in Cornwall. Uh,
Yeah,
I yes,
these ones are
I got a
extremely
strap
good.
around the back as well, built
Yeah,
in. Is
exactly.
that
Yeah, they
built
got the
in?
strap around the back,
Very nice.
and I roll the kayak with them, and I've never lost one of these. Yeah, they're pretty
This is
good.
quite a funny story. I was out pretty much for the first time in my boat. There's a little kind of island, tiny little thing, and I was going around that. And I met a couple of guys, and I thought, oh, I've got a safety cover now. I said, guys, I'm going to try and do a roll, and if it doesn't work, you can come and rescue me. So I did a roll, and it did work. And then the guy goes, "Did you have a pair of glasses
Oh,
on?"
and then you lost them. Shoot.
Yeah, I totally forgot I was wearing them because I hadn't planned to
Right,
go out and
right.
do that. You see,
Mhm.
uh, so it sounds like you're in good shape, basically.
Yeah, yeah, everything is in good shape. I sent a few emails to some supermarket chains that you guys have there in the UK and in Ireland to see if they might be willing to sponsor me with some maybe a gift card for food, so I can stock up. So, but I haven't heard back from them. We'll see if any of them say anything. And then I also sent it to some local hotel chains that you guys have there in the UK as well, seeing if they might be willing to give me a certain number of nights around the UK, which
Okay, okay.
which would be quite nice because
Have
the
you?
biggest expenses on an expedition are food and lodging.
Yeah, yeah. Have you been in touch with any of that post I put out? Have you been in touch with any of the guys and gals who responded to that?
I talked to Sean. I haven't. I reached out to a couple of other folks, but I did not hear back. But I'll reach out to them again and see.
Uh, but you know the post I put out because
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There was kind
Yeah,
of
well, you sent me an email with some contacts to call.
oh no, no, no. I also put a post out myself. I said,
Oh, you did. I didn't see it. Okay.
yeah,
I'll need to see it
I'll
then.
send you a link to it if I can find it. But there's probably about getting on for 10 people who responded to that. So sorry, I thought you'd have seen it. But anyway, doesn't matter. So
But yeah,
fantastic.
we'll see if a supermarket company would sponsor me. That would be fantastic because then I could like park the kayak in front of their supermarket, take some pictures with it. Uh, when I went around Vancouver Island, there were a few times when I stayed in some hotels, and I would show up with the kayak to the front desk and say, "Hey, I'm the guy who booked the room. Oh, by the way, I have a kayak. Is there a place that we can put it somewhere?" And the staff were usually pretty chill about it. They would, put it in a corridor or in the ballroom. I have some funny pictures of the kayak in weird places.
Oh, fantastic,
Yeah.
fantastic. Well, you've got the kind of cachet of being from from a different country. I see. I think that's cool, and you've got the double cachet of your, as I put it, your trip is very audacious. Because I think there's, apart from Sean Morley, uh, is there anyone else who's done it?
There's Sean who's done it. There's what's his name? Nigel Dennis has done it.
Oh, I didn't know
Um,
that.
yeah. And then guy who did it as well. I forget his name now. He wrote a book as well because he's also been around uh, Iceland. His
Oh,
name,
okay,
yeah.
you have to send me a link to that. Well, I'll put it in the notes.
And then there's also that lady from Germany, Freya Hofmeister. She's been around Ireland, I know. Um,
Oh well, yeah, yeah. She's been around Ireland, but
been
there's
around
nobody
Ireland,
done
yeah.
Britain and I well the whole of the British Isles, or very few. Yeah.
Yeah. Around Britain, there's also a guy who wrote a book. He wrote a book from when he went uh, around Ireland called Celtic Tides. I think his name is Chris Duff or
Chris
Chris
Duff.
Studd.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Chris Duff. He wrote a book about going around Ireland, and I know that he's gone around Britain as well.
Okay, but not in the same year though. But that's
Not in
what I'm
the same
talking
year,
about.
no,
Not in
no.
the same year. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So how many miles or kilometers are you planning to do on each
On
day?
each day, I am thinking that on the days that I do go out and paddle, I'm probably hoping to do about 30 miles on average. If
Yeah.
there is, if I have a downwind day when the conditions are very good, then hopefully I can do over 40 miles because I'll have a small sail with me, which
Ah,
really helps on the
right.
downwind.
Yeah, yeah.
So on those days, I'm gonna make the most of them when the conditions are ideal. And then if there is a headwind, usually my thought is if it's blowing more than 15 miles per hour headwind, it might not be worthwhile to paddle unless the swell conditions are favorable.
50 miles per hour.
No, no,
That's
15, 15,
all
15.
right. I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
unless it's more than 50.
Yeah.
If it's more than 15,
Right.
it might not be worthwhile because, you have a boat that's filled with gear. It's pretty heavy. You're probably not going to get more than 10 miles on that particular day. You might as well just sit
Yeah,
it out, wait
yeah.
until you get better conditions, and then put in lots of miles on the good days.
So how many days, because I bet you calculate this, can you afford not to paddle over the time you're
So
here?
I've been thinking that I have until my flight back is October 15th, so I can't go beyond that. I've
Okay,
been
hard
planning
deadline,
that,
yeah.
yeah, I have that deadline that I have to make fly back. My thought is that if I can average about one sit out day per week, that I'll have plenty of buffer in the time there to be able to complete the whole trip.
Right. So you're
Yeah,
saying you've got 1/7 of your time here as your
yeah,
kind of
1/7 of the
contingency.
time to sit around. And that's assuming that, I might, when I do paddle, I might do 25 miles in one day. And still have a few extra days of sitting so that it won't, if I do need to sit out for longer than that, it won't be a problem.
Right, right. Because one of the things there was a couple of other guys who were trying to go around Ireland at the same time as me last year, and when I think they had different kind of time constraints to me because basically I could go on forever, which is a very big advantage. So I didn't particularly mind when I got stuck. But one of the things they were considering was actually breaking it up or starting from a different position based on uh, the weather at the time. If you see what I mean. So basically, if it's nice on the East Coast,
Right.
and you're stuck,
Oh, I
you're
see.
stuck
They
on
would
the West
change their
Coast.
stuff. They would change where they would start, and then do
Yes,
the loop.
yes.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think the only hard constraint I have is that I want to try to be on the west coast of Ireland on the month of June because that's supposedly when the conditions are most favorable.
right, right. Uh, yes. Well, it was better. I think it was glorious actually last year in June. And then July came along and they had 250% uh, of the average rainfall, which is the rainiest July ever. So yes, it's the only thing predictable about the weather over here is that it's unpredictable.
It's unpredictable, huh? I was
Yeah.
going to ask you a question. Do people normally wear dry suits there in the UK and Ireland when they go paddle? Or
Uh,
so?
well, I, I'm not going to speak for anyone else because people are very different. My attitude is, in fact, probably most of the time, I just wear a pair of shorts, and then I'd wear a kind of base layer or two and a couple of cags, and I during the course of the day, I would vary the number of layers basically. Uh, and then if it was I mean, I don't own a dry suit because I can't stand having a latex seal around my neck. You know, I can do it for a
Yeah,
couple of
okay.
hours surfing.
Mhm.
I mean, I think one of the slang words is boil in a bag, and if you're pushing hard, which uh, yeah, I found temperature control was a big issue, and the majority of the time I was worried about getting too hot.
Okay, I see.
Even though the actual water temperature is quite, if it depends what kind of tempo you're paddling at. Uh, and I also, being an old man, don't have very good capacity between having, needing a pee stop. So there's a couple of times where I was going to do a long crossing and I hoped to stop in the middle, and conditions didn't allow me to stop in the middle. And you end up peeing inside a dry suit, which is just not very nice. So this
You
year
don't you
I'm not.
don't you, you don't unzip it, put the bottle and
Well, I do, but I
uh,
would say only one day and four with conditions that smooth to allow me
oh, I see.
to
Mhm.
do that. Uh, so yeah, so a lot of the time you just it's just too dodgy.
Just too
So
dodgy. Oh, okay.
and that's why this year my two cags have got full length zips on because I think one of the most dangerous things I used to do was I'd be, I don't know, a mile and a half offshore in the middle of nowhere and too hot, and then you're taking a cag off over your head and it's, a little bit rough. So you've just got, it's akin to taking a pullover off when you're driving a car on the motorway at 70 miles an hour. It's not really
See,
advisable.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
what I usually do for cooling, at least when I was in the Vancouver trip, I would just do rolls because the water is very cold. You do a
right.
couple of rolls, and usually that's enough to cool you down considerably.
Well, if it works for you, I think I managed to get around the whole island without doing any rolls, and that's very deliberate.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking is I would just roll. But no, my only thought was is that if a dry suit might be overkill, but I'm thinking that since I'm starting fairly early in the year, it's probably a
Well,
good
yeah,
idea to have
definitely,
it. Mhm.
definitely, and yeah, but do be cognizant. There's going to be quite a lot of times where you need to find somewhere sheltered to have a comfort break, and quite often that's not very easy. So this year I'm going to take a wetsuit. It's only really on a long crossing where you can't stop for, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 hours, whatever. Uh, that I'm gonna take neoprene trousers because then you can get away with anything. So yes, well anyway, I'm certainly looking forward to following you. It's going to be a real treat, and hopefully I'll
Yeah,
get
I'll
to
have
meet you.
on my website. I'll have a GPS tracker so that people can see where I'm at all
So what are
times.
you using for that?
I'm
Uh,
using an InReach device.
oh,
So
you're using your in
yeah,
reach.
I'm going to use
Yes,
an InReach, and InReach lets you make a link that you can give it to anyone you want, and then people click on the link, and then they see where you're at.
right, right.
Yeah. And I was gonna do something, maybe like a fun game. I made lots of these beanies,
Uh-huh.
and my thought is that when if I meet somebody that offers me a bed or a beer or lunch, I'll give them a beanie because I'll have a lot of these with me to give away. And then
Excellent.
and then if I happen to be paddling around and then I see somebody with my beanie because people have been passing them around, then I will buy that person a beer.
Sort of where's
And
Wally
then people
type
can see where I'm
competition.
at on the tracker. So if they have a
Yeah,
beanie, they can find me, and then I'll buy them a beer, or I might carry a few cans of Guinness with me, so they
excellent,
can have a beer.
excellent. So, how much space is there in your boat when it's fully packed then?
So I actually did a trial to put everything in the boat because I have the same boat here. So I tried putting everything inside the boat, and everything fit in there. I mean, it was all pretty tight, but everything fit inside the boat, including the dolly because I have a very small dolly.
Right.
Yeah, but for all of these beanies and stuff, what I'm going to do is I have one compression bag. So I have one bag like this filled with sponges, beanies, and other bags of stuff to give away. And I have about four of those. So what I'm going to do is when I get to the UK, I'm going to mail them ahead
Oh, I
to a few
see.
people.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Right,
I'm gonna
right.
leave. I have a cousin who lives in Glasgow, so I'm gonna mail him a bag full
Yeah.
of stuff to pick up along the way. And then I'm gonna leave also one at the Rockpool factory in Ainsley. I think that's probably a
Anglesey.
good
Yeah,
point
yeah,
there.
yeah.
And then I need to find two more people to mail stuff ahead. I was thinking
Well,
maybe I could send you one
yeah, yeah,
because
no,
you're in
absolutely.
Cornwall,
Yes, yes.
and then I need to find somebody in Edinburgh to mail another one. I think that would be pretty good spread out.
Yeah, that
Um,
sounds like it. Yeah, I'm sure that's
yeah,
achievable.
bags
We'll
of
find
stuff.
somebody in
So
Edinburgh.
yeah, so I actually made these bags. Look, they got my logo on them. I
So when you say you made them, you're a bit of a dab hand with a sewing machine, are you?
No, I didn't make like that. I designed the
You
logo.
commissioned them, did you?
Then I went on Alibaba where you can order things in bulk.
Okay.
And then I asked them to make because they make these dry bags, and then I asked them to put my logo on it. So I made 500 of these.
Oh my
Maybe
goodness.
Yeah, when you order them in bulk, they're fairly cheap. They cost like $3 each. So I'm taking
Really?
a whole bunch of
Okay.
these to give away along the way. Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Mm.
Oh,
And these are really good, actually. I checked with the manufacturer what the materials were, and it's the same material of this compression sack as the Sea to Summit bag. So the bottom that's semi-permeable that bleeds the air out is the same as Sea to Summit, and the
I
body
see
is
that
also
that's
the
actually a
same.
dry bag. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
saying.
Yeah, this is a dry bag.
Oh wow, I thought it
Yeah,
was just
yeah, it's a
like
dry
a
compression bag.
yeah, yeah. Oh, very
Yeah. So
nice.
and it's the exact same material as the Sea to Summit, and it's the same way, and it's made the same way too. Like they put triple stitches on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, everything is the
fantastic.
same as the Sea to Summit. It's a really good bag. Yeah. So I'm gonna have I'm taking maybe 10 of these with me that I'm using, plus another 10 to give away.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like you're pretty well sorted. Uh,
Yeah, I'm hoping I'm gonna get to meet lots of people along the way, talk to a whole bunch of different people, and then once it's all said and done, I'll write a cool book.
ah. So
In fact, I actually wrote a book about my trip around Vancouver Island, and it's with the book interior designer right now. He's designing the inside of the book, and it might go on sale as self-published for an ebook. I might put it up for sale sometime in the middle of the trip, or if
okay,
I manage
yeah,
to land a publisher, then I'll sell it through a publisher.
brilliant. So how did you find the process of writing it?
So what I did was I took all of my daily logs and my notes, and I used that as the starting point for the
Yeah,
book.
yeah.
I wrote a rough draft of the whole book, and then I found there's a website online that connects writers and editors. So then what I did was I hired a person who edits books to read through my book and then give me some pointers about how to structure the story. So basically, they read your work and then they'll say, oh, this idea here that you mentioned in this part of your story, you should connect it with this
Okay,
other theme
lovely.
that you're bringing
Very
up,
good.
or they'll
Yeah,
say
yeah.
this thing here is kind of a loose end. See if you can tie it back to the story. So they'll engineer your writing. They'll give you some good pointers, and then you'll go through a few drafts with them, and then the end work is actually, I think it's pretty good. I was surprised that for me as an engineer, I actually think I wrote a pretty decent kayaking book.
Right, well, fantastic. I mean, that's the main thing that you like it, I think, if you're creating something. And if anyone else likes it, it's a bonus.
Exactly. Yeah. If anybody else likes it,
Yeah.
it's a bonus. Well, I'll find out when I publish it. The market will tell me if it's a good book or not.
Uh, so I've
So,
just watched England beat Wales in rugby, which is very gratifying.
mhm.
So suppose rugby doesn't kind of really gel with you over there.
I've yeah, they don't really play it over here. They have the fake rugby here in the United States, the American football.
Is in fact it's Super Bowl tomorrow, is that right?
Yes, that's right. It's the Super Bowl tomorrow. The team with what's that singer's name? Taylor Swift
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
playing.
yeah.
And yeah, the whole internet is abuzz with it as to whether or not if he wins, is he going to propose to her or something?
So are you gonna be watching it? I'm tempted to watch it now, actually.
I don't know. I don't really care much for American football.
Right,
But
right.
yeah,
You'd rather
just to
be
see what
canoeing,
happens
eh?
at the end.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah. You'd rather be out canoeing.
I'd rather be out kayaking, yeah, especially if the
Yeah,
weather is
yeah.
good. Mhm.
Okay. Okay, anyway, Felipe, been
Yeah, Felipe.
lovely talking
Mhm.
to you. And
Hey,
yeah,
hey, Mike.
I
Yeah, it
wish
was
you all
great
the
to talk to
best.
you again.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
cheers, everybody. Till the
Yeah,
next time.
cheers. Thanks.
Okay,
Bye.
bye bye.